Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video. My name is Minovi Alpando. I'm the program coordinator for Imperial and MESA, and on this video we'll go over pretty much the relative position and layout of our website. So just to get everyone started, same thing as every other week. Here's our website, ivmesaprogram.org. Here's our address, our phone numbers, and remember, just check it out. There's always good content here. Currently we haven't put anything just because we're doing the instructional videos, which are these, and currently we are up until video number 10. So this is pretty much all we have right now. We have 10 videos, so if you've missed any of them, go check them out. Also right here to the right are rules for this year's competition, which is the website that we're currently doing. So obviously check out the rules. If you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. You can definitely email me. That way you know what to do and how to submit them. And then remember to register, because the registration is going to be up very soon, and this, I believe, will be the last week or two that we're gonna have the registration up. After this, we will take it down. We will open for submissions. So definitely get ready and register. That way you don't miss anything. Also, I have Zoom meetings weekly, Monday through Tuesday, starting at 2 p.m. So if you have any questions, anything like that, let me know. I'll be there sharp at 2 p.m. If no one shows up, obviously I'll move on and go on to the next day. Okay, if you don't have pretty much the link to the Zoom, definitely email me with your name, school, and grade. That way I can know who you are, and I can send you the link. That way you can, ask me questions one-on-one, anything you want, or if you want me to show you the web, if you want me to see your website and see what you guys are doing, then definitely go on to this Zoom meeting. Okay, so let's get started on this week's video. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, it's pretty much a little different from last week's. I did add more information here, and same thing as everything else. I did delete the video that we had before, so if you want to know how to add a video to your web page, definitely check out the previous video. I believe it's video number 8 or 7, so check that out. If you have anything about this, if you have any questions regarding this layout, how to add the padding on the borders, pretty much the rounded edges, the box shadows, how to change the color, font, all that stuff, then check out the previous videos. This is number 11 currently, so there's a lot of information back then. Each video is 20 minutes or more, so definitely check them out. That way you know what to do. So on this video, what we're pretty much going to do is we're going to talk about the layout and how to start moving different elements regarding the text and all that stuff. So this is pretty much what we're going to do. Okay, so there's a lot of different positions what we can how to add. The first one, the very first one that everyone has done, I've shown it a couple times, several times actually. I've never done this since this is the first video. Normal flow, pretty much as you can tell from what I'm telling you, normal flow is pretty much how it will render either HTML and CSS without anything. You don't need to do anything. Normal flow is pretty much the way the website will look like, meaning everything's going to be to the left, everything's right there to the according to the first one, and then moves on just down. So there's really no change, no nothing right there. It's very simple. It doesn't center to the, it doesn't have it to the center, to the right, a little obscure, and all that stuff. So that is pretty much relative, the normal flow, as you can see. And if you did want to specify it's gonna go like this, then you will go into your CSS, and you can definitely write it anywhere. Obviously, if you want to affect the whole thing, you can write this pretty much just like this, my bad, and it's gonna be static. Okay, so static pretty much is not gonna move, as the word stays right there, static. If I press run, it shouldn't do anything, say nothing right there. But if I do want to render it like that, and then for some reason any browser or anything like that has a different setting, then definitely you can write it like right there. But this one won't do anything currently. Just like that. That's it. Nothing, no change whatsoever. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is relatively position. Okay, positioning, my bad. Okay, relatively position pretty much moves an element in relation to where it would have been in normal flow. So for example, you can move it 10 pixels lower than it would have been in normal flow, or 10%. So obviously, just like any other form of numbers or anything like that, you can definitely use percentage, pixels, and EMs to pretty much write down the positioning of the box. So for example, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to move this box, or pretty much any of this the paragraphs, because we don't have anything currently right here. I know I have this right here that was for an image. So we have all this, right? This one right here for the paragraph. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to move this one, or how about all of them different from the header, and we're gonna move them to the right, to the left. We're gonna start playing around with all this stuff. Okay, so we're gonna add another space, another line. Okay, and just like the one we did with the static, we are gonna write down position. Okay, and this one's gonna be relative. And then from then on, in order to make it move, we are going to use pretty much these properties. So if you want to have them a little offset or anything like that, we will use either top, bottom, left, or right, depending on how you want to do it. So let's have them to the right. And we're going to make it move 100 pixels. That way, it can be a really noticeable change. Okay, so we're going to wait till it loads up. And there it is. It pretty much moved everything to the left. If I changed it, and we're gonna move this to pretty much 10, so you guys can see, there it is, MESA. It's everything to the right. It pretty much cut off right here and move everything to the left, relative. Okay, so if I wanted to, I can definitely add a negative, and there you have it. It's obviously didn't move a lot, again, because it was only 10. start messing around with 100 and so forth, obviously you can see the changes drastically. Okay, and those are pretty much left to right, negative, positive. If you want to move it up and down, left and right, obviously you would use top, left, right, and all that stuff. If I wanted my paragraph to pretty much go into the middle, or just pretty much line up to my header, I would do exactly the same thing. I would go right here, position, and then relative, and then do exactly pretty much the same thing. We're gonna use left on here just to see what we'll do. Yeah, when you're going to check it out, I'm gonna put 100 pixels. Don't forget that semicolon, always forget it. And there you have it. Okay, it's starting to look pretty much into the middle. If we go in to make it a bigger, it obviously it's not to the middle. Okay, it moves it to the right. We can go up and down too. There's a lot of different things we can use. Okay, so definitely check them out. It is something to see. Okay, now there's a lot of different things we can definitely talk about. The absolute positioning. So absolute positioning would be when the position property is giving a value of absolute, the box is taken out of the normal flow and no longer affects the positioning of other elements on the page. They act like pretty much it's not there. So if I wanted my header to move around, play around exactly how I want it, top, left, right, width, and all that stuff, and act like it's pretty much not there, I can definitely do that. And again, it would change the positioning of it to, instead of relative right here where my header is, or my paragraph, change it to absolute. It would definitely change that. It would act like it's not there. And obviously, in order to make it move and all that stuff, is top to left. Now, we can definitely do this. And what I'm going to do right now is we're going to mess around with just this box. Okay. And if we go right here into our HTML, my first header is important, and that's the class. I have it right there. Necessarily doesn't mean that it is important. Obviously, I would have to, there's a lot of ways on how to emphasize on the importance of just one header or anything like that, precedence over some other parts of my HTML. But for this one, I just put important to make it more noticeable. You can definitely do that too. You can add first header or any like that, pretty much, just as long as you write it in the context of the header, and put class equals and then whatever you write there for your string. And then for the CSS, pretty much it would go something like this. Right over here, you would go with the header, which element, and obviously you can see the pop-up little window that comes out. Dot important, and it will specify that I'm talking about the specific header in there. And if I want to make that one just move and act like, you know what, it's no longer part, it's no longer in affect anything, just like pictures or anything like that, where we added pictures and it constantly moves everything, just like Microsoft Word. You know, whenever you're trying to add a picture to it, it will pretty much move everything except the picture you want to move. Okay, so loot, and then we can play around with it, top or you want, let's go to the right. I'm going to do again 100 pixels just to see the change. Okay, necessarily, obviously you just saw me, I don't have to go 100 pixels. I can definitely use less than that. And as you can see, what happened here is that it moves, and again it acts like it's not there. And if I wanted to be more of a change, obviously I would play around with the pixels and all that stuff. And this is in relation to the place of the text, so make sure you do that. You can definitely add 200. There it is. It moves it all the way over there. And pretty much it's right there. If I wanted to, I can move it down to, and there's a lot of ways to do that. Obviously, talk about the top. Oops, my bad. That would be one, top again, and again, 100 pixels. And there you have it. So it starts moving around, and that's how you start moving stuff, making sure that it's just one solid thing. Let me pop it out again. That's how it's gonna look like. It is it's starting to look like we have more control into our elements, our property, and all this stuff. We have more control to it. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do. Okay, obviously if I want to mess around with this little box, because MESA for some reason it's very small. I'm not talking about the text size, I'm talking about in relation to the actual box. If we go back over here, I can pretty much copy all of this stuff, because what I want is, obviously I want the padding, I want the border radius, background color, the font, weight, the size, the color, the font. All of this stuff I can just copy and pretty much paste it into there. Okay, nothing's gonna happen because obviously it's the same thing as before, but what I'm trying to do is make it a lot smaller. Okay, we can do the padding. See how wall is going to affect it. It's not a lot. I wouldn't mess around with the padding too much. Okay, the border radius. Obviously, that one's how much of a angle it is on it. Then we can play around with a lot of stuff. But for right now, that's what I'm saying, that I can play just with one thing if I obviously add the class, the positioning of it, and play around with it. I added more stuff, obviously the text and stuff like that, just to make a very, very different stuff. If I wanted to just mess around with this, again, the class of the paragraph, what it is, how you're gonna name it, and then moving that around. That would be the most everything you would have to do. Okay, and obviously if you wanted to play around with the whole thing in just one follow swoop, and the whole body, you would put right here the top, left, right, all that stuff. And depending on how many pixels you want to move it, it is pretty much up to you. Okay, as you can see, our CSS is starting to look a lot heavy. Our HTML is not a lot, obviously, depending on what you're doing, and what you're doing for MESA would be the competition. Remember, you're adding as many pages as you as needed, meaning we need all those pages on the rules, and definitely check add the site. You have to cite all your resources and all that stuff. all the articles you use, any like that, any website you use to help you not make the actual website, but what information you're using. Because at the end of the day, you're not posting it online or anyone can find it. But if we have to know that you know, if you're either you're talking about yourself, it's totally fine. But obviously, we have different information there that is not public domain. So make sure you have all that, just like you're writing an essay. Make sure also you have multiple pages, just like on the previous videos where I was showing how to add links and all that stuff, and different pages to your HTML and HTML. Then add those stuff. There's going to be probably around 6. Make sure you have all that stuff, and add as much information as you want. The more is the better. Where you're not gonna get graded on your for all that stuff, but make sure you have all that stuff separated from one page to another page to another page. Doesn't matter the order, as long as you have all those pages. The information is good, but we're obviously looking all the behind scenes, just like this. What you did for CSS, how it looks, how it's organized, why did you use this, why did you use that, any new stuff, maybe some stuff that I didn't show you. Definitely check it out, the rules, and see what's going on. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the competition, so once that happens, once we're getting close there, I'm gonna start not posting more videos. So if you have any help whatsoever, obviously check out my Zoom meeting, the Zoom meetings that I posted on there. If you need more help, those are gonna be also gone after the competition, or even a couple weeks prior to the competition. Okay, so definitely get help as soon as possible, because we're getting really close to the deadline for the competition. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today, for this week's video. If you have anything else you want me to go over, anything that you guys want to do for your website, definitely email me. My email is mvalpando@stsu.edu. So definitely ask questions right now is the perfect time. If not, tell your teachers about it. That way they can ask me too. That would be also another way to do it. Okay, thank you for listening to me.